my God, what a fucking shambles. What an absolute fucking shambles. Fucking Paul Pooper. Chris Smallcock. Phil No Bones. Juan Prata. Nemanja Twatic. Fucking who else is there? Ashley Clunge. Oh my God. What an absolute gash-tastic game of football, lads and lasses. Manchester United have just lost 1-0 to Newcastle United in the Premier League. It's finished 1-0. United couldn't mount a challenge even at the end of the game there when we're chasing them. It was just absolutely pathetic from Manchester United. It was absolutely pathetic today. You know, I can't understand how you can have that amount of quality players out there on the pitch and play that shite. You know, we're coming up against Newcastle United. Look at the golfing quality. Look at the names on the fucking team sheet. They've got fucking that bald Voldemort in the middle of the fucking pitch. You know, somehow he's getting the better of what? Paul Pogba, Matic in there. You know, we've got Martial, Lingard, fucking Lukaku, fucking Sanchez, who's coming to the side here, supposed to be a world-class player. Yet Manchester United have looked even shitter since we've had Alexis Sanchez in the side. I don't understand how it's happening, you know. How are we playing so shit? Jose Mourinho has to take a lot of the blame. You know, that fucking Portuguese Mr. Beanio, Jose Mourinho. He has to take a lot of the criticism today because it's his selections, it's his tactics, it's his formations that are causing the problems for Manchester United. You know, he continues to persevere with this two in the middle. Pogba and Matic, we've established Pogba's freaking shit in playing that role. He needs to be more advanced up the pitch, you know, if he's going to have the impact that we expect him to have in the games, you know. And he keeps persevering with it. Why does he keep persevering with it? You know, choosing Chris freaking Smallcock, who just is terrible, isn't he? There's no place for Chris Smalling at Manchester United. He is not the quality. He's not the level of player that Manchester United need. It's evident for everybody in their freaking granny to see. Yet Jose keeps selecting him in the side. He keeps giving him these opportunities to screw over Manchester United. And guess what? He does it, you know. Today, it's just a catalogue of errors. It's almost comedic in some ways, you know. Chris Smalling dives in the centre of the park. What the fuck are you doing, Tom Daly? Sort your life out. Why? Why would you do that? John Joe Shelby, Voldemort's freaking twin, comes in, puts the ball over. Pogba, where is the header, Paul? £90 million, you tell me you can't jump 2 feet in the air and challenge for a fucking header. And then, of course, it's just, and then it's put away by Matt Ritchie. I mean, it was just an unbelievable series of events that led up to that goal. Manchester United, you know, we tried, didn't we? First half, it's like as soon as we didn't get a goal after a little while, the heads went a little bit, you know, shaking their heads. You know, what the hell are you doing, lads? We're Manchester United. Keep bloody playing. The goal will come if you just believe. But the players don't believe out there. They believe they're shit, and they play like they're shit. You know, I mean, you know, defensively, we are a joke. We are. Phil Jones, you know, he had a good season so far, but recently he's gone off the boil, you know. He's not good again today. Chris Smalling, I mean, it's laughable that he's playing for Manchester United. Ashley Young, he's had a good season, hasn't he? Today he was shit. And as I say, Matic, Pogba not working in the middle of the park. What frustrates me the most, I think, is the fact if you look at the players we've got at the top of the pitch, it's like, how can we not thread a few passes together in the final third? We've got Martial there. I mean, he's perhaps played out of position today, you know, on the right. It's like, what are you doing, Jose? Lukaku's just not doing it for us at the moment. Sanchez, he's only coming into the side. It's difficult for the lad. I'm not going to criticise him at all. But I just think these players out there, they're supposed to be some of the best players in the world, and they've got to start performing like it. You know, they're on big money. Look at the amount of the transfer fee, the combined transfer fee for our top four. Okay, Jesse was an academy product, right? But other than that, it's a shitload of money. You're talking a couple $100 million just for the attack. And then, you know, they don't play like it. That's the problem. You'd think they were literally assembled from the Sunday League at sometimes, the way these players are playing. It's like, they like I say, they can't pass the ball around like they should be. They can't string passes together. There's no sort of perseverance and determination from these lads. It's like we went 1-0 down. Okay, it was an absolute fucking calamity. We went 1-0 down, but where is that Man United fight and desire to get back into it? Where's that extra quality? Where's that quality that's supposed to shine through? It's supposed to shine through because Manchester United have spent a lot of money. These players are on big money and they're supposed to be really good, but they're not really good, are they? No, they're shit. And why is that? I mean, why is that? Is it the players? I think the players are, you've got to blame a lot of the players. The players just not up to the standard, are they? Paul Pogba, he's been terrible for us this season. Okay, he's leading the assists in the league. It doesn't mean shit, I'm telling you. I've seen it with my own eyes that he has not been doing the business for us. He's just not. And I'm starting to think maybe it's not necessarily him. Maybe it's the fact that he's just not in his favoured position, slightly more advanced up the pitch. Jose Mourinho keeps playing with this 4-2 fucking whatever the fuck it is, and it is 4-2-3-1, and it is just absolutely not working for us. Everybody knows we should probably play 4-3-3. At least give it a go. We can utilise the talents that we've got in that system, and it could work better for us. Well, I think most people would like to at least see that. Jose keeps doing what he likes to do, and I don't know why. I think it's just almost an arrogance from Jose, but there you go. He's come up against a freaking Spanish waiter today. Rafa Benitez couldn't get the better of him. I mean, just shaking his hand at the end of the game, man. It's depressing. Rafa Benitez, manager of Newcastle United, has got the better of Jose. I saw a stat before the game, actually, that Jose Mourinho has never won at St. James's Park before, the Sports Direct, or whatever the fuck it's called. He's never won there, right? Now, what the hell is that all about? It's just like, seriously, it's his banana skin, it seems. He can't go to Newcastle and win. He's never done that in his career, and that's an unbelievable stat when you think about it, because essentially Newcastle are shit. So the fact that Jose Mourinho, who's managed Chelsea and Manchester United, has never gone there and got a result, tells you everything. He's a bottler when it comes to going to the North East. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why, but his sides don't do well there historically. And again, it was the same today. I was expecting us to go there and get a comfortable win. We've seen some interesting results happen. It's unfortunate that Spurs won. Of course, Spurs beat Arsenal. Was hoping for a draw or even an Arsenal win at this stage, because Spurs are looking like they can catch us now. But they wouldn't have been looking like they could catch us if we could have just beaten Newcastle today and won this game of football, which we should have done. And then it wouldn't really be an issue. But we'd still have that nice cushion, that nice gap. But I don't, it's worrying. Okay, we may be good enough for a second. Let me just say this, actually. We're second in the league. We're second. Manchester City are running away. They won the Premier League now. They're the best team in England this year. Fair play to you. Fair play to you, City. Nice one. You spent shitloads of money. You got that bald Pep Guardiola prick in there. He's doing wonders. Fair play to you, City, right? Manchester United are second, and everybody's criticising us, saying we're shit. And do you know what? We are shit. The way we've been playing, it's not up to the level of Manchester United. It's not the United way. We're not getting better than the teams we should be getting the better of. When we come up against the other big teams, we come up second best. Now, that seems to be the trend for this season, right? Well, guess what? We're second. So how shit is everybody else in the Premier League if Manchester United is second, and yet we're absolutely shit? So, it could be worse. It could be a freaking Scouser or something. But anyway, it's just not good enough, is it? It's just not fucking good enough. We're supposed to be at least beating Newcastle United, at least playing much better than we have. It's like the way I look at it, we're trying to pass out from the back. We've got Chris Smallcock in the back of the freaking pitch. He can't pass to save his life. He could have hit the Renault Espace. He was parked next to it. So basically, there's a lot of problems at United. The tactics, I think, is a big one. You shouldn't be trying to pass out from the back when you're 1-0 down and you've got Chris friggin' Smallcock there who can't pass to save his life. We don't have those type of players. It'd be nice if we did, but we don't. So I think the tactics are wrong today from Jose Mourinho. I think the formation's potentially wrong. Some of his selections are wrong. There's a lot that Portuguese Mr. Bean has got wrong today. There's loads that he's got wrong. And so, people keep saying, stop criticising the manager. It's not the manager's fault. Well, hang on a second. It sort of is the manager's fault a little bit, isn't it? When he's putting Smallcock out there to have a calamity. It's him who's selecting Smallcock. Nobody else is. He's not selecting himself. It is Jose Mourinho who is. And it's Jose who's putting Marcio on the right. It's Jose who's persisting with his two-man midfield with Pogba there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So Jose is to blame, in my opinion. Blame that Portuguese twat. You have to blame him because he's making the same errors over and over and over. And it's like, if you're changing things up and we can see that you're trying to change it then and it doesn't work, that's one thing. But to persist and be that repetitive, just so mind-numbingly slow and boring. I was expected to see a lot more from Manchester United in terms of creating chances going forward. Passing the ball around a little bit would be nice, without losing it after 2 freaking attempts. So I was just expecting to see a lot more from United today against, let's face it, a poor Newcastle United. I don't care if they've got a Champions League winner, La Liga winner, freaking Spanish waiter in charge of them. I don't care. He's not managing a great side. He's got a poor side. He's got limited finances, limited resources, and he is mentally limited. So why are we coming up second best to Newcastle? It makes no sense. I mean, I just don't understand it. But there you go. We have done. We've lost. And we've just got to put this behind us now. We've got about 13 games or something between now and the end of the season to cement our place in the top four. We're still in the Champions League. We've got Sevilla. We should be able to get through that. But listen, if we can't beat Newcastle, can we beat Sevilla? Can we beat them? I don't know. You'd like to think we could. But realistically, the best we can hope for this season is just to finish in the top four. Now, anything a couple of weeks ago, besides finishing at least second, would have been a calamity. But now it wouldn't surprise me if United dropped down a place or two. Anything can happen at this stage. Spurs are on our heels. You know, there's other teams that are fighting for those top four spaces. And if United continue to go to teams that we should beat and lose and look terrible, then the confidence is going to take a knock. And of course, bad form can then be bred from bad performances. And I think that's what we could potentially see. So we just got to put this behind us, forget about it now, and try and do the best we can between now and the end of the season. Jose knows what he's got to do. He's got to win games. He's got to set the team up better. He's got to stop choosing players who are not good enough for Manchester United, you know. I'd have pretty much rather have seen anybody in the place of Chris Smalling today. It's not like he's been good recently. It's not like Phil Jones. Phil Jones had that calamity the other day, didn't he? Bless him, you know. But he's been good this season, so you can allow him a poor game here and there if he's going to be consistently good, and that's what United need. We need consistent players who are going to perform week in, week out, not the likes of Smalling, not the likes of Pogba, who are too inconsistent, too hit and miss. You know, these are the sorts of decisions and selections that actually lose your games. You know, we've chosen Smalling today. Okay, you could argue if it wasn't him that's had the mare in midfield there and dived and then defended like an absolute mug and given the goal away effectively. If it wasn't him, it could have been somebody else. Yeah, right. But it probably wouldn't have been, you know, if you'd have selected anybody else. But there you go. Smalling makes the team. Smalling makes the error in terms of giving the free kick away. Pogba makes the team. Pogba doesn't go up and make the header to clear the ball away. So directly, Jose Mourinho's selections there have impacted Manchester United in a negative way. That's just a fact. And I'd be saying it the other way round if he selected Fellaini. I'm like, Fellaini, what? What are we doing with Fellaini on the pitch? But then Fellaini scores a header and we win. Then I'd be saying the same thing about Jose, that it's a positive selection that he made there, had a positive impact on the team. But no, he's just been making errors, quite frankly. Selection errors, formation errors, tactical errors, and that is what has cost us today against Newcastle United. You know, fair play to Newcastle United. I've been writing about United here. Fair play to Newcastle United. It was a good performance from them. I think that puts them up to about 13th in the Premier League now, which is insane because it's just so topsy-turvy at the moment at the bottom there. But the top could soon become like that as well if Manchester United aren't careful. We had this bit of breathing space. We've shut that away now. That's gone, basically. You know, now we're looking behind us. We're looking behind us to see who's coming up the rear. And at the moment, it's Spurs, and at the moment, it's Chelsea, and at the moment, it's Liverpool, and these tossers. And do you know what? If Manchester United keep performing like that and keep selecting players like Smalling and allowing them to have such poor performances and then make the team the next week, then I could see us dropping out the top four. You know, we've got to be realistic. We need to win games between now and the end of the season more than the teams around us to cement second. At the moment, we're second. Everybody else is shit as well. You know, teams are losing left, right and centre against teams you wouldn't expect. Chelsea have had absolute mares recently. It happens, you know. But it's not just the fact that we've lost today. It's the performance out there is so bad, you know. It's like there was very little going forward. Anything we did create, we just shat up a wall, you know. Anthony Farcical, more like, because some of the chances that he missed today, my 3-year-old freaking niece could have put in there, I'm sure. I don't even have a 3-year-old niece. I've got a 1-year-old niece, you know, and a 6-year-old niece. Choose either one of those, they'd have both banged it away, that's what I'm saying. Martial's missed sitters today. Other players have missed sitters. Any chances we created, we missed. You know, we've got to start being more clinical with the players we've got at our disposal, you know. Lukaku, Martial, Alexis Sanchez, and we're coming up against Newcastle. We can't score any goals. Seriously, with those players, how is that even possible? You know, what's the management doing there? I'd imagine it was not even that hard. You just go, look, lads, you're a bunch of world-class fucking legends. Get out there and play like it, and just put the ball in the back of the net. They'd probably do okay. So I don't know what Jose's doing in terms of negativity to stop these attacking players attacking. You know, what is that? Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into this rant reaction video for the Newcastle versus Manchester United game that has finished 1-0 to the Geordies. Absolutely shocking and unbelievable, but there you go. Just going to read through a few of your comments now. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in live and is watching right now. Appreciate it. Do us a favour, chuck a like on this video. If you're new to the Flying Pig United YouTube channel, then please do subscribe and stick around. But Gunshi, how's it going, Gunshi, my friend over there in Taiwan? He says Bailly needs to get himself fit and healed. We miss him. Oh my days, we do, don't we? We absolutely missed Bailly like you wouldn't believe. He was such a breath of fresh air when he was put in this United side by Jose. He's our best defender, in my opinion, by a country mile. He just looked so solid. You know, nobody knew too much about him when he came over. He came over for a reasonable amount of money, and he just slotted in there. You know, potential replacement for Vidic or something. You know, that good, looked that good, and has been our best defender. We 100% need Eric Bailly to come back. He needs to get that match fitness, you know, injury behind him and get back in the team. And I think once we see that, then you will see Manchester United doing a lot better, because, you know, that is where the game can be won or lost, is at the back of the pitch there. And if you've got a bunch of absolute melters, or a melter specifically like Chris Smallcock, who can't even keep down his feet, then, you know, you're going to have all sorts of issues. So, yeah, I totally agree. Eric Bailly needs to get back in the side. We need to see that. Jones and Bailly looks a heck of a lot better than Jones and Smalling, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you there, mate. Eric Bailly definitely needs to get back in the team. Having a look at some of your other comments. Thank you to everybody for tuning in right now. Kyle Fury, my moderator. How's it going, Kyle? He says, Wenger is right. English players are masters of diving. I know. It's absolutely shocking, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, he's right. He's absolutely right. You know, it's always, historically, it was the players from the continent who were coming over diving. You know, the Italians were notorious divers. The Spanish were notorious divers. The RGs were notorious divers, you know. But and English players always used to be like, no, like freaking Terry Butcher or something. We're freaking hard. We don't dive. We don't girl around on the floor. Do you know what I mean? We just get on with it. You can take a boot in the head, you get up, you get on with it. This is a man's game, and we're going to play it like men. We're going to play with a level of fair play. And you don't see that often enough today, certainly in the top levels of world football. And in England now, it's become an absolute, you know, parasitic, freaking cancerous, disgusting growth on the game. Because it is just diving left, right and centre. And Manchester United, I hate to say this, back in the day we weren't. You know, we had Keno, for fuck's sake. Keno's putting an end to all of that shit in the, you know, in the United side. God, what I wouldn't do for Roy Keane in this Manchester United side, just to kick up the arse of all these players. You know, make their bollocks grow a little bit. That's what we need, is a Roy Keane. We're missing leaders out there. We absolutely are. But what was I talking about anyway? Yeah, the diving. It's absolutely shocking. Chris Smalling, you know, Ashley Young in the past have been a notorious diver. So I think you're right. English players, I think Wenger's right. English players are just as bad as anybody else at the moment, you know. It pains me to say that, because that's always something that I was quite proud of about English football, is that there was a level of sportsmanship and fair play and just toughness. You know, it wasn't about being this little prima donna ballet dancer. You know, it was about being a bloke. It's about being a freaking bloke and getting on with it, you know. But unfortunately, we've totally lost that out of the game. I don't know if they're teaching it in training. Listen, lads, this is how you win a foul. I don't know if that's what they're doing these days. It seems like it, because everybody's at it. Everybody's at it. So I'm just disgusted. Nathan Martin, thank you for your comment. Nathan, he says, Pig, I reckon we was gash-tastic. Can you do a match companion to Huddersfield versus United fans FA Cup tie? I might do, we'll see, Power. I know Manchester were absolutely shocking today. I potentially will be doing a live match companion for that. Not been able to do too many of them recently, but I'll try and remedy that as soon as possible. Tony G comments and says, Sanchez the peasant on huge money. Freaking Alexis Wankes, more like. No, listen, let's give him a bit of a break. You know, he's come over from Arsenal there. He's just slotted into the side. He's had a couple of games. He has scored. He has got a couple of assists as well against Yeovil. You know, he's done okay. He's been a little bit disappointed in some of the bigger games, or the games when he has started, and you would expect to see more from him. But he's bedding into the side. He needs time to gel into the side. You can't expect him to be telepathic with the players around him at this stage, but you'd at least expect to see a bit more from him. You know, it is frustrating when you've spent, well, not even spent any money actually, but just got a player of that caliber in on those wages, and you expect to see something immediately. You do, you know, and if not immediately, after a couple of games at least. But unfortunately for Alexis Sanchez, It's not been able to do it so far for us. I mean, I don't even necessarily think it's him. I think it's the system, the tactics, Jose's negativity that's perhaps hindering and hampering him at the moment. Some of the other players up there, you know. It could be that because we are negative. We don't play free-flowing, attacking football, certainly not as much as you'd like. And certainly up against teams like Newcastle United, you would expect us to go and do that. You know, we should be beating them comfortably. It should be 2-0, 3-0, you know, no worries at all. When you look at the amount of money that we spent compared to Newcastle, when you look at the golfing talents out there on the pitch, how is it not possible that Manchester United win that game? So there we have it. John Massisi says, you laughed at Chelsea last week. I know I did. And now we fucking lost to Newcastle. But guess what? I'm still laughing at Chelsea because they're still below us. And they lost 2 games in a row against teams they should be beating. So calm down, pal. Yeah, Buju George says, Harry Kane will struggle in this squad. I think you might be right, you know. We always call Spurs Harry Kane United. And we say that, you know, without them, they'd be having absolute mares. And it's to some extent, that's true. You know, he's the finisher. He's the man that wins them the games and puts the ball in the back of the net for them. He's very, very good at that. But if he was at Manchester United, would he even be getting the service? Would we be creating the attacking phases in enough volume to supply him with the chances that he needs to put the ball in the back of the net? I'm not so sure we would. But then again, Martial's Mr. Sitter today, so... you know, I think he'd do a lot better. Trip and Vape says, I miss Vidic Ferdinand days. Let's get nostalgic up in here. What glorious days they were. Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand, pretty much the best centre-back pairing in Premier League history. Certainly Manchester United's Premier League history. You know, Pallister, Bruce and all those guys, fantastic. But for longevity, for just tenacity, for balls, for positioning, for intelligence, you can't get better than Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. They were so tough, they were so hard, and they were so dreadful to play against if you were an opposition striker, and they were so good for Manchester United. That's what we're missing right now. I think maybe Eric Bailly could be that sort of level player for us in the future, but I've been saying it for years. I've been saying this for years. Smalling, Jones... they're just not top quality players. They're good squad players. They're good players to have in there, you know, like a Wes Brown or something. And I think Wes Brown's better than both of them. But Wes Brown was a squad player at Manchester United when we had real strength and depth in those positions. And, you know, if we're really going to challenge with the top teams in Europe, you know, look at City's back line, look at Barca's back line, Real Madrid's back line, Bayern's backline. You know, these teams have got quality players throughout. And if you're looking at our defence, that is the weak part of our team. Nobody can say, at least on paper, that our attack is not up to standard. It is. And our midfield is very good as well. But our defence is dreadful. You know, if not for David De Gea, who knows what would be happening with Manchester United. He's that good. He saves us that many points. And our defence is very, very ropey. So I've been saying for years we need to get a top-quality centre-back in. Somebody just to come in there. You know, somebody like a Sergio Ramos or something like that. Or a... you know, I don't know. I mean, it pisses me off that City have just signed that Aymeric Laporte. He's supposed to be the next best thing since sliced bread. I've seen him play a bunch of times. I've always thought he's a very good defender, and now they've got him as well. So United need to spend and get a top-quality defender in to partner Eric Bailly if we're ever going to see that sort of quality partnership like a Rio and a Vidic and actually have some continued success at Manchester United. Because at the end of the day, it's built from the back here. If you ship goals, you concede goals. You know, look at Liverpool. You can't win games. You know, you don't win enough games. It's all well and good scoring goals. But if you can't keep goals out, then you're always going to find it difficult to win leagues, win trophies, win cups, you know. So definitely 100% that's something we need to address. James Arnold says, Pig and the Hen Show Wednesday, 100% James. As usual, it will be Wednesday night, me and Henry Hotspur breaking things down. You know he's going to be smug as a bastard up in here as well, because they beat Arsenal at the weekend here, Harry Kane getting the winner, and we've just lost to Newcastle United. In fact, he's texted me twice. He's texted me twice while I've been doing this bloody video, saying frickin' Rafa, get in there and all this. It pisses me off, you know. So, but yeah, Wednesday night, Pig and the Hen Show, usually starting around about 8:30 p.m, but anywhere between 8:30 and about 10 p.m, it seems. Right then, I'm going to wrap it up here, but thank you very much for tuning in to this live match reaction rant for the Newcastle United versus Manchester United game, which has finished 1-0 to Newcastle United. Jose, Mr. Benio, sort your friggin' life out, pal. Let's see a little bit of vigour and verve from the lads. Let's see a change in tactics. Let's see 4-3-3. Let's try and play to our strength. Let's try and play attacking football. Let's try and win fucking games. And the players out there, sort your lives out. I'm looking at you, Paul Pogba. I'm looking at you, freaking Chris Smallcock. Sort it out. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you very soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United saying thank you so much for getting involved in the comment section here. All these messages pinging through right now. Unfortunately, I can't answer them all, but please do come back actually in a few minutes' time when this video has been published to YouTube, so you can get your thoughts and opinions in cemented, so they stick around permanently. I'll be able to see them, I'll respond to them, and so will everyone else. So come back in a few minutes once this video has been published to YouTube. Get your thoughts and opinions in on the calamity that is Manchester United right now, and if you're a Newcastle fan, just jog on. Thanks so much for tuning in to the pig, the fucking pig. Yeah, that's me. To the pig. I was going to say the Pig and the Hen show then. Henry's not here. Gongshi said, I bet Henry's laughing. I bet he is laughing, that little freaking toad. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to the channel. Sort it out, United. I'll see you very soon. This is the Pig. Take it easy and freaking come on, United.